we identified the problem in the business I acquired, but then we confirmed that there is the same problem for multiple software companies. If they are within this million to a few $1 million revenue per year range, they do not have a CRM. 20 other founders, they wouldn't know it. They will have to acquire a business to get inside it, and very few people are going to do it.
All of the businesses that you've run, how have you helped them scale and grow? What has been instrumental to that journey?
Sometimes founders just don't do it on a very polished and professional level, how experienced GTM people will do. However, only founders know how to properly position the product. You cannot teach this. You cannot teach other people to do it, right?
Now, you've said that businesses don't need more leads. They need help closing the ones they already have. What do you think are the biggest leaks in revenue funnels from founders and sales teams?
People just don't follow up. I mean, the majority of people just don't follow up with customers, with investors, with leads. The channel that was really forgotten, but I would say that now it's getting back. With all this noise, genuine human relationships are going to become more and more important in the marketplace.
Welcome everyone to another episode of SaaS Stories. Today, I'm joined by Vadim Rogowskiy, CEO and founder at Eve. Welcome, Vadim.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Jana.
Absolutely. Let's start where we always start, which is the origin story. You've built Eve after acquiring a 17-year-old company and uncovering hundreds of misleads hidden in founders' inbox. What was the aha moment that led you to found Eve?
Yeah, it's a good question. So actually, yeah, I didn't plan to start another 0 to 1 journey at that time. I wanted to take a break from it, but it didn't happen this way, right? Because at first I wanted to start acquiring companies like legacy software companies on kind of large fragmented markets, and then transform them using AI and my kind of digital marketing playbook I've been doing in my previous companies. And when we acquired, and with my business partner, we acquired first company called Literature. At the company, I've been around for 17 years, helping different businesses of different sizes, including some huge corporations, to run events, right, trade shows and conferences. So, and we acquired it, and we wanted to do obviously a transition from ex-owner who retired, and he had all the leads in his email because he was using email as a primary channel for sales, and we didn't find a tool to help us to actually get inside his inbox and actually extract all the leads from there. And I was very surprised because I thought these tools exist, so I had to build one with my team just to just a prototype, and then we realized that we found like 400 leads that he never touched for the last 6 years. Then we gave it back to the sales team, and they closed a few deals from there immediately. And then I tested it on a few other companies, including my previous startup that is still around, 3D Look. And also the insights were great. And then I thought, well, probably this is the opportunity I want to go after. This is the opportunity I want to double down on. So that's how it started. So basically I spun off the company from there. And so it became Eve. And that's exactly what I've been focused on for the last year.
Wow, 400 leads. I'd love to touch on the whole journey that led you to Eve, but first off, let's just go a little bit deep on what Eve actually does. So it looks at a person's inbox and it essentially finds opportunities and leads that already exist, but people may have just forgotten about. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, The thing is that we identified the problem in the business I acquired, but then we confirmed that there is the same problem for multiple small software companies and especially service businesses that often, if they are within this million to a few $1 million revenue per year range, they do not have a CRM, or they might have a CRM, but they just have it because that's the expectation. They kind of should, but they don't really invest in automating it. And not all of the CRMs actually have AI capabilities. So these companies end up having a big breakdown between email data and what sits in a CRM. Or if they don't have a CRM, it's even easier because they have all this data in spreadsheets, in their notepad, like everyone else. And we basically understood that in order to help these businesses to start using AI agents, we need to, and actually help them to fix this gap, we need to start where they have the majority of their data. And they obviously have the majority of their data in the email. I'm talking about B2B software or service businesses that sell through email, right? And then we connect to their email, and we use all those data, all the data as the basically the basis for, like, we build like essentially knowledge layer of all for all for every company that connects to Eve. And it then, based on that, we are able to actually identify all the existing customers, all the leads, all the opportunities, rank them, prioritize them, organize them, and then actually divide them by stages. So end up like having like we transform their email into sales funnel, and then we rank them by priority, and also we help them to follow up, which is generate follow up emails they can send it in one click. So that's basically how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea actually, because everyone's kind of looking at their CRM. When I come in and speak to clients, we're always looking
Yeah.
at the CRM to see, who have you already spoken to, who's engaged, but no one really thinks about the email inbox, which actually makes a lot of sense because if I think about it, there's probably 50,000 emails sitting in my inbox right now. There are definitely conversations that have stalled, that I should probably be re-engaging. But there's also opportunities for upselling and cross-selling with existing clients. So it's actually quite interesting. I guess that it would be fantastic for the system to be able to go through, thousands and thousands of emails in that inbox and categorize them as different opportunities potentially.
Yes. The thing is that, first of all, like, the value here is divided into two parts. The first part is actually analyzing your historical data. That's what we did with the company I acquired. We analyzed the last 6 years of data, right? And we came up with these 400 plus leads. But then, so that's the ultimate value that actually no one else does it, right? But secondly, it's about just regular monitoring and regular. So we make sure that the business, our customers, have actual up-to-date funnels sitting on top of their email without any additional input from their side, which is the magical part.
Mm, fantastic. Let's take a step back and kind of go through your entire journey because you've founded 4 companies now. You've raised 20 million plus. You've invested in multiple startups. With that kind of pattern recognition, what makes you say, this is the one I want to build about Eve?
Yeah, I think it's all about. I mean, yeah, it's all about. I think in my case, it's all about right, the understanding that with this current wave, and obviously I was watching AI transformation for since the beginning. Obviously, I've been building in AI even before AI became a thing. So my first AI company, I started it in 2016, and we were doing like mobile body scanning. It's also like built our own proprietary AI model to scan human bodies using smartphone camera. But so I've been in AI for quite a while. But this time when LLMs appeared on the scene, at first I didn't jump in. I wanted to be really patient. I wanted to just avoid, like any FOMO or something. I wanted to stay on the sideline and just watch how it unfold. And I was waiting for no, and at that time I was literally like, yeah, I decided I don't want to build anything now. I just since from scratch I wanted to buy and then build. But then ultimately I decided, okay, but now I see the problem. I see the opportunity. It's a huge opportunity because agentic AI gives an opportunity to build new software categories underserved, um, for underserved, like thousands of businesses that previously didn't even use AI. And it's on the secret that AI still is mostly used by fraction of
Yeah.
worldwide businesses, right? Still, the revolution is not there yet. Also, we all talk about it. So I finally got the kind of the unfair advantage and the non-obvious insight that that became the foundation of Eve. Because when I was a VC on investment side before starting this company, I always was looking for, like the answer to the question, like why this team is going to build this, like what's the unfair advantage, what's the non, and what do they know about something, about the market, about the technology that others don't know. I was looking for this not obvious insight, and with Eve, it suddenly made all total sense because what we learned only were able to learn it by acquiring the business. So
Mm.
I other like 20 other founders going through IC or like whatever, just starting from scratch, I mean, they wouldn't know it. They will have to acquire a business to get inside it, and not very few people are gonna do it. So in my case, it was just a very clear, honest, a very strong answer to the question like why now and what do I know that others don't know, that actually prompted me to actually double down on this idea. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it sounded like, I mean, this is where all the great ideas come from. Most of the founders I've had on this podcast have found a gap in the market. Like, this didn't exist. I had this problem. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I built it, which is fantastic. Now, going through all of the companies and again, kind of pattern recognition, what works, I'd love to just get some advice from you on your go-to-market strategies. All of the businesses that you've run, how have you helped them scale and grow? What has been instrumental to that journey?
I mean, in terms of go-to-market, yes, I always was involved in go-to-market. That's kind of my area of expertise, and I was loved it. And I think since the early days, somehow I understood, I prioritized growing my personal brand and selling through it, promoting companies through it, although it was not even a thing until pretty much recently. And I think it's just, and it started to through Facebook, obviously, then it got to LinkedIn. But and it helped, I mean, it helped me to find some core people in my previous companies, sometimes even co-founders. It helped me to find some investors and obviously customers, a lot of them, through my social media content. So, and I think I've been always a strong advocate of founder-led growth in terms of, I mean, like of growth through founder brand, because yeah, that's the most powerful tool if you can use it in the right way, and it will always stay with the founder regardless of what they do. All right, and it's not even connected to a particular company. It's just your for permanent asset. And yeah, it worked. I mean, now I'm experimenting with different things, like trying to maybe like mix some educational content with some product content, with some, like some provocative content, etc. Just experimenting with different things. This year, I also want to try maybe some new format, maybe like an email list, or maybe like, I don't know, maybe I experimented with video content as well. So yeah, like I've been always paying a lot of attention to founder, to my own brand. Uh, well, it really worked. Yeah. So do you want to talk about that, or we can switch to something else?
No, no, I would love to. So I agree. I think founder-led growth is definitely the right strategy, especially for startups that are just starting out. They don't have millions of dollars to spend on advertising budgets. So founder-led growth definitely makes
Yeah.
sense. I would love to get your thoughts on if they were mid-market to enterprise level B2B companies. Obviously founder-led growth doesn't seem scalable or sustainable. So in those cases, would you use maybe the sales team to do the same type of marketing? So like, you know, founders, for example, would do a lot of personal branding. They would put a lot of content up. I guess in larger organizations, would you just delegate that to the sales and marketing teams, or what would be the strategy there?
I think there's something unique about founder-led sales, growth, because probably founders don't do it. Sometimes founders just don't do it on a very polished and professional level, how like experienced GTM people will do. However, founders do it in some a unique way, because only founders know better than anyone else how to properly position the product when you don't have a lot of you have so many gaps there, when you essentially fake it until you make it. You cannot teach this, you cannot teach other people to do it, right? And that's I think it's unique about the founder-led sales, because you have to balance a lot of things, and you have to essentially combine a lot of roles, a lot of hats, to make it right. And I think only from when it goes from founder, it gives a highest level of credibility and authority. And I think, yeah, it's just I cannot imagine a hired GTM a person to be able to make the same impact. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Um, Now you've said that businesses don't need more leads. They need help closing the ones they already have. What do you think are the biggest leaks in revenue funnels from founders and sales teams?
Well, I think they're pretty obvious. I mean, even the follow-ups. I mean, I've been working with a lot of founders as an investor or mentor or just friend, and I've seen that people just don't follow up. I mean, like the majority of people just don't follow up with customers, with investors, with leads. Why? Because I don't know. I mean, sometimes a lot of people are just not very well organized, and also just maybe even not pushy enough. So. And I think lack of follow-up is probably the main one of the main obstacles to actually for them to grow. And I think yeah, and what and with um and at least I haven't seen yet like any smart email apps that kind of just uh look at the content of your emails, and if they see that you promise to get back to someone in 2 weeks, that they will remind you about it. Is this not there yet? And you have to manually set up the reminder or something, or they just will remind you in 3 days, no matter what, which doesn't work. And that's what we do at Eve, which is one of the small features. But yeah, I think lack of follow-up, um, and also for especially like owners of small businesses, not even startups, but just normal like service companies, um, they are organized even worse than that, and that's why it's hard for them. So it's they have a problem of prioritizing the right things at the right time, and they just do the something that sits on the top of their backlog or their inbox, and they miss a lot of things that just basically and that are more important, but they are somewhat like buried underneath, right? That's like lack of prioritization, I guess, lack of follow-up consistently. I think this I can identify this as like two of the main blockers in sales for startups. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. It does make sense. I think, people get busy, they go in the trenches, they forget that they've sent the email most of the times until it's too late. And then it's like, oh, maybe it's too late to follow up. Coming back to like Eve's AI tool, what are some of the things you train it on? Like, are there specific keywords that it goes and looks for to gather these opportunities in the inbox? How does it work?
At first, we ask just a few questions during onboarding. We ask about your ideal customer profile and your revenue model and pricing, and then everything else we try to take from your we go to obviously to your website. Our agents go to your website and check all the information they can find. They look at some databases, but also the most importantly, they look at your internal the knowledge we can extract from your emails, attachments, calendar, contacts, and then from all of that, we kind of so we identify all your contacts for the last year you've been communicating with, and then we divide them by groups, by categories, using this reasoning that we've got by analyzing what we know about what we can find about your business, and then we are able to identify leads among your contacts, right? And then we kind of also then we look at okay, what's your typical sales cycle? We look at understand this. We understand the stages. We understand the lengths of so basically that's how we build the sales funnel. And then we also have a few important parameters such as ICP fit, like how close it is to your ICP, and also confidence to close, like how confident are we that you're going to close the deal. And these parameters change all the time, but based on them, we kind of organize your leads. So to make sure again that you focus on the most on the highest priority things.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. And I think, for established businesses, there's obviously a few inboxes you can go through. It's not just the founders, but it's, sales teams, even marketing teams, customer service teams, product teams. There's a lot of opportunities in there to extract a lot of leads, actually, that people may have forgotten to follow up with. Um, I suppose the next step would then be, okay, we've got these leads there, we've identified them, this is the journey we think they need to go on based on previous communications. What's the message that you find is your biggest go-to-market weapon? What are some key messages that you would go to them with to then help re-engage them?
The biggest go-to-market message that opens doors it's definitely the fact that, hey, like we're gonna basically transform your inbox into sales funnel without any workflow changes, without any learning curve, right? Because this is like the majority of AI tools cannot say this. They need to like you need to like put a lot of effort. Although it looks very easy when you read LinkedIn posts that someone wrote about it, but no, it's not that. So in our case, we really emphasize the simplicity a lot, and yeah, so it clicks. It clicks very often. And then obviously, yeah, then it's all about quick wins. Now we are working on getting product to the state where we can very quickly demonstrate very high value, uh, and that to get to this aha moment. And for us, like for example, one of aha moments is when our user adds one more user to the account, like a salesperson or whatever. Usually it's founder who started, and then they invite the salesperson. So it's also a good sign for us that they kind of have initial trust to the product, and now they started to bring on their team. And now we're going on deeper aha moments. Yeah, then to focus on getting our users all the way to them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That works for Eve for sure. What about any success stories with specific clients that you might be able to talk about? Any kind of key messages that have worked really well?
You mean key messages in terms of what? In terms of like go to market or
Well, I suppose once you've got the leads in the inbox, how do you then message them to re-engage them?
in our case, again, it's yeah. So like as a if you're a customer, you get you see your sales funnel with leads divided by stages, and then you can click on any of them. You open the lead details page, and what's important, you have a button like generate follow-up, and it was going to
AI.
generate follow-up in one click, obviously with using all the context from previous communications. All have it. You have it in one place, because what we usually hear from our users and just from people from the market, and that's what I've been doing all the time, is um, I take like a meeting transcript, or I take some notes, I put them to my custom chat GPT, ask him to write an email, then I write an email, then I go back and send it, and it's not convenient. So they are in Eve, can do it in one click. And obviously,
Mm,
and then Eve is gonna track, look for responses, right?
yeah. That makes sense. Um, yeah, no, absolutely. I think using AI for the context and the initial messages makes sense. And you did mention you were on to AI before AI even became a thing, became so popular with the launch of ChatGPT. What do you think now, looking back on it and in hindsight, what do you think separates organizations that integrate AI meaningfully compared to everyone else that just bolts it on?
Yeah, I think it's all. I mean, a lot of obstacles are related to data. Many organizations just still don't understand that AI is dangerous in a good way. Meaning it can help a lot when you give it the data. Without your data, it's just a average kind of generalist that is not really gonna move the needle for your organization. Besides some pretty routine tasks. And many organizations only now started to understand that first of all they need to invest in kind of organizing this data, and also that's what we are solving with Eve for these small businesses, because we just connect to the data they have, right? But yeah, it's all about like organizing the data. And then I think another problem is that many businesses don't understand that if they cannot do manually what they want AI to do, AI is not going to do it. So meaning if they, first of all, like anything we try to automate at Eve, at first we do manually. Like we even imagine that we are AI. I mean, in the early days, we were kind of doing the job of AI for some of our customers, just to kind of, like to feel how it works, and also to understand if it's even feasible. And then we were able to come up with a pretty detailed instruction to AI. And many businesses still don't understand it. They expect some miracles from AI, while trying to push some very broad and not detailed instructions. And it's not going to work this way. Yeah.
I think I'm definitely guilty of that. I've definitely briefed AI to do stuff for me and then obviously been really disappointed with the results because I've briefed it to do something that's technically impossible. I can't do it, but I was hoping AI could.
Everyone was there. I mean, yeah, of course, we all tried it.
Maybe one day. Um, I guess for a lot of our marketers and founders that are listening to this podcast, what would you say were the biggest kind of challenges that you've had to overcome to get to the scaling part of the business? I know a lot of them, for example, are struggling with hiring. A lot of them are struggling with retention of existing customers and then also finding new customers we touched on with the founder-led growth. What are some other challenges that you've come across from scaling your own businesses that you can share with us?
I mean, mostly in terms of GTM.
PTM, also hiring,
Mhm.
leading a team, people,
Yeah.
all the biggest challenges.
No, I think like we started. Yeah, I also talk if you're talking about the AI. Uh, we started to use AI, for example, in recruiting very actively. I like this example that we now I ask AI to analyze like basically to kind of support me during the entire recruiting process through every stages. So first of all, of course, I or someone from my team designs the requirements, but then AI comes up with job description, and then we start the search, and then I put all call transcripts of all the in interviews into AI, basically into my custom GPT that has all the context about the company, about the business, about the expectations, and then uh, AI helps me to also design a competency matrix or, or something that we use to evaluate candidates on the final stages. Then AI also helps me with some questions to prompt for some particular people to uncover maybe some gaps, and then AI acts as just a second opinion when we make a decision, and it helped a lot because a few times it really opened our eyes because obviously humans are prone to a lot of biases, like for
Yeah.
example, recency bias that we remember the last conversation that is better than anyone else, or we think that maybe the last candidate was the best because we just remember it better or we feel it better. But AI doesn't have it, so AI really opened our eyes in terms of like with zero emotions, just helped us to actually see the truth, right? See the facts and not emotions, and that's how we start to make decisions only when there is alignment with AI or on that and in hiring decisions. And so far, so good. It worked well for Eve. So in Eve, that's how we do it. So AI always participates in our has active part in our hiring decisions. And yeah, so that's I mean my big recommendation to founders. Um, Also, what else? Mm, yeah, I think now in our current like startup environment in 2026, it's all about finding the like uncovering word of mouth. I think all investors are looking for startups that uncovers word of mouth. Experienced founders looking for it as well because it essentially means um, free marketing, but also only this. If you find this, it means that you can grow exponentially. Other than that, it doesn't work. I mean, paid marketing doesn't work anymore. So now it's all about finding this wedge, this perfect combination of product and marketing, like and market, like product market fit. So people start talking about you, and that's what we're also looking for. And I think for founders to get there faster, it's very important to really yeah, I mean, prioritize their personal brand for sure, to grow the personal brand, to do it in public. All these tools are, yeah, I mean, they really work. It's also a part of the founder brand, building in public. Um mm, and also communities. I think what also is very strong is investing in communities, partnering with different communities. And also I know some businesses that started as a community and then became a business, like Lovable, even, right? So the point is that, yeah, I think that instead of doing some experiments with paid marketing channels, some obvious channels, etc., I don't think it's gonna get you anywhere. But really trying to mm, find some channels that really can activate word of mouth, and these channels should ideally also be scalable.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I think communities definitely are going to be a must-have, especially in the world of AI, where people I think are going to be start to crave some more human interactions. Communities make a lot of sense. When you said big marketing doesn't really work, were you referring to like paid ads, for example, across all the social channels? I've kind of come to realize that as well. They're definitely not as effective as they used to
Mhm.
be. It's very challenging. Um, but I guess as an alternative, again, touching on founder-led growth as well, maybe creating lots of content, putting it on multiple channels, that could be a strategy for AI recognizing you. And because I assume a lot of people might be asking AI where to find the best business in the future instead of using the search engines.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So like yeah, like Gen, how it's called, like not SEO but GEO, like Gen AI optimization, for sure. Yeah, I'm not an expert in that, but I see like more and more evidence that people started to receive leads from that. No, we even started to receive leads from there, right? So like, yeah, I mean, like, definitely, like, yeah, all channels just don't work, but I think, it's just, I think, now it's like as soon as you find some combination of a product, of a version of your product, and some even very niche audience, then you have all the means to multiply it, like to spread the word super quickly. um but now it's all about finding this, because if founders wouldn't find this and will rely on paid marketing, then it's a road to nowhere. They can get to, I don't know, maybe even like a million ARR or something, but it's not gonna, they're gonna plateau. And I was there as well, so I had this experience as well. But yeah, also looking at new channels, like you said, like GEO or something, totally makes sense. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Um, Vadim, in terms of go-to-market strategies and scaling SaaS, is there anything we haven't talked about that you feel is important to touch on today?
Like what else I think I can mention, besides what yeah, I and maybe the last thing is, we also tried to run an in-person event actually in San Francisco before
Yeah.
Christmas. And I invited a few other founders. We had a panel discussion. It was focused on AI for small businesses, like some different use cases, very practical. And we had like 160 RSVPs with zero marketing besides just accept my LinkedIn. So I wanted to say that, and actually it was a big topic at the event, that in real life events are coming back. And I think this is also very much uh kind of like how to say, pretty much uh I would say like the channel that was really like forgotten and not really I mean like I mean like it was definitely not appreciated for some time, but I would say that now it's getting back. And because when you get people in person to listen to your content, then definitely uninterrupted, that's the only way you to do it is in real life, right? And also, of course, I mean, everyone is talking about it, that the fact that with all this noise, genuine human relationships, yeah, are gonna become more and more important in the marketplace. So I think, yes, I definitely recommend founders to double down on the person events, and also try to collaborate with other founders to do it. Because for us it works better when we bring other founders doing some adjacent things, so we kind of together kind of cover the big topic. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you mentioned that actually. You touched on two things that I've been seeing a really good trend in as well. So events, in-person events, face-to-face. Obviously, that's the best way to grow relationships, which is kind of, what you need to do in the world of B2B. And partnerships. So connecting with other founders to help you run these events, because you then have a partnership. It's so much more easier to run. And I think those are two very unutilized channels in a lot of the B2B SaaS organizations. So yeah, thank you for bringing those to our attention. I've definitely seen a really nice trend here in the APAC region with them. I think, definitely underutilized as a result of the COVID lockdowns. And I think people were almost a little bit scared to go back to them too soon, but that they are becoming a lot more popular now.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, definitely. I mean, I think the in general, because the company I acquired, it also kind of in this real life events a market, helping people to capture leads and run events. We know that the market, that offline events last year were bigger than pre-COVID. It's the first year when they actually
Yeah.
surpassed pre-COVID numbers. It's really big, and yeah, and then I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
Fantastic. But then my last question for you, it's a bit of a tradition on this podcast, is if you could go back in time and give yourself one bit of advice, could be any point in your life, personal, professional, what would that advice be?
Okay, and how many years back? Mhm.
And you can go as far back as you like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. What would I say? Mm, no, probably. You know what? I think like also have been writing about it on LinkedIn a few times that I began to appreciate the journey as much as the result. I think in the last few years, and previously I was too anxious. In my first companies, I was very anxious that I need to get to them to certain milestone or to exit or whatever, and and then I will leave. Then I will do A, B, C, whatever. Enjoy life, like whatever. But it's not gonna. I realized with experience, I realized it's not the right approach. It's not gonna work this well, this way, because if you don't get there within expected time frame, you become unhappy. And the journey is the most important thing because that's life. And I realized I need to live today instead of deferring it to some moment in the future. And I know many people do this mistake. So I probably this is the one thing that to appreciate the journey since day one, and thus I would avoid some mistakes when I was too anxious or rushing too much. Yeah, that's probably the main piece of advice I would give to myself. Yeah.
Love that. It's so true. I was actually listening to this just yesterday, where they were saying, everyone kind of has the end goal in mind and they're chasing that and they forget to enjoy the journey. So it's the ones that actually do enjoy the journey that are the happiest running the businesses that they run. So
Totally.
I love that you said that. It's so true.
Yeah, and if you're happy running the business, then you increase your chances, your odds, because you're happy in this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in it for the long run.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Loved having you on the show. Thank you for all those great insights. What an amazing tool. Who would have thought? And you're right, nothing like this exists. So it's great that you brought it into the world. It'll be amazing to see. I would really love to play around with it as well. So definitely keep in touch.
Thanks, John. I really enjoyed the questions. Thank you.